Welcome to the Blue Collar Wealth Club podcast. I am your host, Jerry Garcia.
And I'm your other host, Sheena White. And today we're going to talk about the very foundation of your business. The number one thing you need to know that honestly, I think it's overlooked quite often. And that is
your ideal client. Identifying your ideal client, and then we're going to talk about why that's important and why that's such a foundational thing, because I think you're right. I think it's very overlooked, especially for service-based businesses, because you think, okay, well, my ideal client is someone who needs their gutters cleaned or someone who needs landscaping. It seems so basic.
Like I once met somebody that did skincare, and they're like, my ideal client is anyone with skin. I'm like, okay. If you say so.
The reason she says that, identifying your ideal client is important, and not just anybody, because if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. And we say that a lot, and there's a reason behind it. Because if you start speaking to too many people, nobody knows who to refer your way.
Well, or they don't know if it's for them. Think about your own self. If you are watching a commercial and it's just and it doesn't really speak to you and you're just like, whatever, are you probably going to buy that product or no? But if you see a commercial and you feel connected to it, or you see a piece of copy trying to sell you something and you feel like it's speaking to you, you're so much more likely to buy that product. It's the exact same thing for your client. We have to be speaking to them.
Yeah, we'll take ourselves as an example in this podcast and in what we do. We could just have left it as blanket as we help businesses to run more efficiently and scale, and that's fine. But if somebody hears a business that needs some help, they may or may not think of us. As we scale down further and further, and we could even scale down even further than we have, but we do feel like we found the niche that we want to serve, which is blue-collar business owners. Very specifically, when people talking to a plumber or a landscaper and they're like, I really need help trying to figure out my business, I can't seem to hit that next level, we want to be the first one that come to mind for that. Now, can we help other businesses? Yes. And do we help other businesses? Yes. Very not blue collar.
I have lawyer clients. I have clients in a whole bunch of other businesses, but I really love working with blue collar workers, and I love working with people who they started a business because they just wanted to feed their family, and now they have this thing, and maybe they have a whole bunch of employees, and so now it's a way to feed 50 families.
Right. And so the more specific you get, the more clear your messaging is, the more people really identify and relate that specific thing to you. So yes, you may have a gutter cleaning business, and anybody with gutters you can serve, but the more specific you are with your messaging, like, hey, we really want to help. Are you looking specifically for HOAs and you want to help big apartment complexes? Are you looking for your neighborhood where we really find those neighborhoods? Maybe that's how you niche down. Maybe it's like, I like to serve, I'm the number one gutter cleaner in Highlands Ranch. And that way people know, hey, if I live in Highlands Ranch, I should call this guy. This guy works in this neighborhood all the time. And can you help somebody else elsewhere? Sure.
Well, and there's nothing that says you have to say no to other businesses that comes your direction. And honestly, wanting to not kind of hone into your ideal client is almost like scarcity thinking. Like, oh no, I have to be able to serve everyone. I have to market to everyone. It's like, no, you really don't. And even large corporations like Amazon still really hone in to their ideal client. At every single board meeting, Jeff Bezos, and this is from the beginning, he has a seat for the customer. And when they want to make decisions and everything, he's like, well, what does the customer think? And they have their ideal client set out very specifically. Apple has the same thing. So when you're thinking about these large corporations and how did they get there, it's because they decided who they were serving and what that person cared about, and they went all in on that. And that's how they became huge.
Yeah, so when you're talking about finding your ideal client, you want to find out, A, what service are you providing? B, what makes that different from everyone else? Anybody can clean gutters. What is it that makes your business specifically a little more unique, and it could be something large. It can be something small. It could be a way you do a certain thing. It could be a way you follow up. It could be any number of different things that are just slightly different. There can be 12 different gutter cleaners that all operate a little bit differently. Are you focused on really providing quality customer service? Are you focused on, hey, we're going to not only help your gutters, but we also have these other services we can offer you. So we're going to take a look at your whole house and find out some other things that you may need done, even if it's not us that's going to be helping you, we service for, and say, okay, how do I don't want more of these clients. I want 1,000 of these clients. I want 0 of these. How do you send your message to those 1,000 clients that you want? When we talk about identifying your ideal client, that's who we're talking about. Maybe the same exact service, but there's something slightly different that made this person a lot more enjoyable to work with, and you want to continue working with more people like that.
It's like, how do you become that magnet, right? But what is a magnet but polarizing? So you have to become polarizing because you want to pull those people you want towards you, and you want to push the people you don't want away from you. And the more polarizing you can get in knowing exactly who you want to magnetize, then it will get you those people and it will push the others away. And that's good. Being truly honest with yourself, there are clients you did not like and that you don't want to work with those people ever again. I've had clients I don't like. And if they never ever email me again, yay, fantastic, bye-bye now. It's okay to not be for everyone. And I don't understand why, especially in small business. And I see this so much too. Like I did this workshop at a women's event and I saw a lot of fear and people were like, well, but what if they came back, I'd have to. I'm like, no, you don't. You are not required to give service to someone who treated you badly. Yeah. And who you didn't get along with. Like I don't care what it is that you do, there is another provider out there.
Well, you think about the most empowering thing as a business owner is to being able to say, just like, it's just not what I do. Like, I don't really think that we're a good fit. Mm-hmm. You know, I think there's a lot of others that can help you better than I can. And a lot of it, like you mentioned, some of it comes from scarcity. You know, you think you need every client to make your business run. And in a lot of ways, that's true, especially as a young business. But once you have an established business, you'll actually do your business more harm by serving a client that you shouldn't serve, because that person not getting the experience they expected will go off and tell 10 people what a terrible experience they had. Yeah,
not just that. Like, what about you and your own mental health and, you know, your love of your business? Like my mentor, he talked about this. We had somebody on our mastermind who she had a lot of clients that she's like, I want to just shut down my business. I hate my clients. She's like, I hate them all. I just want to run away. And he was like, whoa, obviously something in your marketing, you are attracting what you don't like right now. We need to stop. We need to shut it down and we need to redo this and we need to rework it so that we're attracting those people you want, instead of this like riffraff that, I mean, they were fine people. It wasn't aligned with her and she wasn't having a good time. And mentally she was struggling. Like she didn't want to serve them. And it was a lot of other things there. So you have to think about yourself, like as a business owner, like your business becomes kind of your baby. And so if you're working with people who just aren't respecting you, aren't respecting your time. I mean, and sometimes I even had a client who at the beginning they were fine, but then they kind of descended into chaos and were really disrespectful of me and my time. And they were my largest client. And it was very difficult to be like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. And there was an incident that happened and I was just like, this moment in time, I don't even care about the money. I can't do this anymore because it's just not working. And we had to separate. But it was difficult. But at the end of the day, I'm so glad I did. And I'm actually just sad I didn't do it sooner because I saw all the signs. I was living in scarcity and thought I couldn't say no.
It becomes a drag on you. And the bottom line is you can't serve everyone anyway. If you're trying to serve everyone, that's only doing yourself a disservice, because ultimately you have a capacity for what you can handle at any given moment in time. Now, can you grow that capacity? Yes. But if you grow it in the way that you were talking about, where you've identified who it is you want to serve, why it is you want to serve them, how it is you serve your business in order to attract those types of people, then it becomes much easier to scale that business in a way that you really enjoy and not dread the amount of work or the types of people that are coming in the door each and every day. Think about that. You can't serve everyone anyway. Really kind of define what that niche is for yourself. Toward the end of being a mortgage broker, at the beginning, everyone's all about down payment assistance programs because that's the way to get the most people in the door. It's just not something that I enjoyed. I really just said, hey, look, I don't really do that. I would refer those out. Even friends and family who came to me for that, I didn't feel like I was providing a good service when I was doing it because of the specific lenders I had to send these deals to. It just wasn't my thing, right? I do much better with bank statement loans. I think we'll do an episode on that. Are specific to business owners. Most business owners don't show a lot of income on paper. And so bank statement loans are designed for business owners to really define that income less based on their taxes and more based on what the income coming in the door is. Anyway, that's a complete sidebar, but I was able to niche down my business and really just say, hey, look, I'm going to take the deals that I want to do and not take the deals that I don't enjoy doing. And for me, it was a relief a lot mentally to be able to just do that and take on the clients that I really enjoyed working with.
Yeah, definitely. And so I think when you've decided your ideal client, everything else kind of can fall into place. And so, if you haven't thought about that, like who do I really like working with, we would encourage you to just sit down with yourself and visualize that you're, the favorite client that you can think of, in the last few months or whatever, or somebody that stood out and say, okay, what about them was awesome? And then do the other side, visualize that person that you were just like, the good and the bad. What's the difference between these and how do I create that? How do I get more of these people that I love and less of those people that I didn't?
And you can, even when you have a great client, talk to them, just ask them for more people like them. You can ask them for referrals that way, or you can just ask them some very hey, what made you want to work with our company?
Yeah.
Get that information if you can from those past clients that were great. And if they were that great, they probably do not mind talking to you and telling you about some of these things. And then they can help you to dial in that messaging and really do the things that attracted them to use your business in the first place.
What other options they were thinking of and why, and get that customer feedback.
Yeah, and it's much easier to get that feedback from somebody you absolutely had a great time working with.
Yeah, so I could go on and on about ideal client, but I'm sure that the listener is kind of over it. So.
Well, I think that'll do it for this episode then.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on the Blue Collar Wealth Club, and we'll see you next time.